crowd, and potential First Lady Barbara Bush visiting Flora's beauty salon.
Oh, I think it's great. We welcome her and we wish her lots of luck. I believe she'll make a good First Lady.
Well, I always heard that you couldn't come to Birmingham, Alabama without coming to see Flora.
Ms. Bush visited Woodlawn today simply because this lady, Flora O'Neill, asked her to.
She's just down to earth. She's one of the most wonderful people you'd ever want to meet.
You think she'll be the First Lady?
I know she will.
You know, everybody in my office was so excited when they said, we see you're going to a beauty parlor in Alabama. And is something exciting going to happen to you?
Why did Flora want to meet Mrs. Bush so badly? Was it to talk about pressing women's issues, or maybe how the vice president would reduce the budget? No, Flora wanted to get Mrs. Bush in her beauty chair.
I love her hair. I love white hair. I've always loved hair.
And you were able to get her in your chair?
Sure did. I got her in my chair. And she's a wonderful person. She's got beautiful hair.
I'm having a lot of fun. No more than I'm having right at this minute. But I'm having a lot of fun because it's very easy for me to campaign for the most decent, honorable, wisest, nicest, most qualified man or woman who ever ran for public office.
Yeah! Win or lose in November, the ladies of Flora's and Barbara Bush shared a visit they will always remember.
From Alabama's leading news station, this is 13 News Tonight with Phil Rosen, Renee Kemp, Jay Prater, and Matt Coulter.
Good evening. When presidential candidates throw their hats into the ring, it usually means their families have thrown their hats in there too. It's virtually impossible to conduct a national campaign without the help of family members. And today, Vice President George Bush's wife, Barbara, did some stumping for her husband here in Alabama. Mrs. Bush delivered the graduation address at Judson College in Marion, Alabama. Mrs. Bush helped honor the school's sesquicentennial by putting one of her husband's campaign stickers in a time capsule. It'll be opened in 50 years. To the graduates, she said, go the extra mile. You could say Mrs. Bush went that extra mile by coming here to Birmingham today. The vice president's wife made a campaign stop at a Woodlawn beauty salon. And as Gina Billy reports, Mrs. Bush got a big welcome from the gang over at Flora's beauty shop.
It's not every day you see this many people pack into a beauty salon, or a crowd like this one line up outside the same shop. And no, these people aren't here for a cut-and-style special. They came to see Barbara Bush.
I think it's a great artist who came to Alabama, and I was lucky enough to get to shake her hand and talk with her.
Now, you might be wondering why Barbara Bush decided to put Flora's beauty shop on her itinerary. Well, 2 years ago, the shop's owner, Flora O'Neill, saw Mrs. Bush in Montgomery at a Republican rally.
So I made the remark down there, you know, while you're standing in line, the big crowd down there, that I'd give anything if I could fix her hair.
Flora decided, why not, and invited Mrs. Bush to stop by her salon anytime. Well, this morning, Mrs. Bush did just that, and Flora finally got the vice president's lady into her styling chair.
Everybody in my office was so excited when they said, we see you're going to a beauty parlor in Alabama. And is something exciting going to happen to you? Dream on.
After the hair stuff was over, Mrs. Bush made the handshaking, baby-holding rounds. And then with a final hug for her newfound friend Flora, Mrs. Bush left. Inside the salon, politics took a back seat as stylists and customers went ahead with the business at hand. In Woodlawn, Gina Billy, Channel 13 News, Tonight.
Tomorrow morning, another president.
Now, from Birmingham, the WBRC 6 Weekend News.
Good evening, I'm Terry Denard. Now that the presidential primaries are over, the candidates and their families are intensifying their campaign activities. Last week, Democrat Michael Dukakis was in Montgomery. Today, the wife of Vice President George Bush came to Birmingham. Barbara Bush made a bit of an unusual stop at Flora's beauty salon. Brenda LeDunn reports on the big crowd that was there to greet Mrs. Bush.
Barbara Bush is making every stop she can to help her husband win the presidential election. An invitation from the owner of Flora's beauty salon brought her to Woodlawn this morning. She was greeted by State Representative and longtime friend George Siebel. Also, hundreds of others waited to see her.
I want y'all to know this is Barbara Bush.
Flora dreamed of getting Mrs. Bush in her salon chair. Today, that dream came true, although not a single hair was trimmed.
Everybody in my office was so excited when they said, "We see you're going to a beauty parlor in Alabama. And is something exciting going to happen to you?"
No image changes here. This honored guest did, however, get down to the business of campaigning during her short visit.
It's wonderful to campaign for George Bush because there really aren't any negatives. He's the most capable, honorable person.
How do you feel about him trailing in the polls?
Expected that. And he's not, it's November that counts.
Mrs. Bush was presented with a number of gifts, and as is traditional for politicians, she held a very young Bush supporter.
We're pulling for a young coming up.
And shook plenty of hands. This is one visit Flora will be talking about for a while.
Well, it's one of the most wonderful things that's ever happened to me. I love her. I thought she was charming. She really was. I loved her gray hair. I thought she was very nice, and we would be very proud to have her as our first lady.
So yes, there was plenty of excitement at Flora's beauty salon today in Birmingham, and just to think that it was all from a single invitation from Flora O'Neill, a longtime supporter of Vice President Bush. In Birmingham, Brenda LeDunn, WBRC 6 News.
After leaving Woodlawn today, Mrs. Bush gave the commencement address at Judson College.